So you need to learn to say no in order to say yes to other activities. So it is okay to say no sometimes to different meetings when the team, when the production cell, when you have a high priority task that you know you need to take care of. And this will help everybody else adjust to the priorities of the team. So once a meeting is called for, everybody is respectful of every other team member's activities and schedules. And so this is a very dynamic collaboration of team members, and that's why we all should be engaged into time management and be in agreement of how we, not just me or you, but how we need to manage our time to be more productive together. Okay, remember, this is a team. This is a team function. This is a team task. We all need to manage our time better. Everybody needs to be, like in a soccer team, aware. Hey, we all need to be manage our time better. This is not just about, oh, he wants to be more efficient. No, we all need to be more efficient. We all need to be jumping into this boat. Okay, that's very, very important for sustainability purposes. Oh, this is a big one. For every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. I want to read it again. For every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. So as I was telling you during my experience as a supervisor some years ago, I was saying yes to work because I was busy doing a lot of stuff that was not very productive, but I was saying no, spending time with my family. And I'm a very responsible person. I don't like to leave things incomplete or undone. And I just wanted to get stuff done. I couldn't just walk away and say, I gotta go home. But at the same time, I wasn't meeting, my family's, I wasn't joining them for dinner. I was late, I was tired, extremely tired. So time management really helped me understand what I was doing wrong and identifying the waste and eliminating activities and learning to say no to waste. And sometimes that has like strings attached because we think that, spending, 15 minutes a day in the beginning of the shift just talking to the crew, and it's like, oh, my day yesterday, and I went fishing, and we think that's team building, and to some degree it could be, but once you calculate 15 minutes per each team member every single day, do your calculation per year, and man, the things that you can do with those hours, the things that you can do with that money that you're paying them to do that, or that they're paying us to do that, because we gotta take it personal. This is a matter of discipline. This is a matter of self control as well. So we need to be very aware. That's why I underline the word aware, because a lot of people are not aware that they're creating not just waste for themselves, but waste for others. And so somebody needs to bring some common sense and say, guys, we gotta stop this. We got work to do. We haven't finished it. We gotta get stuff done. I gotta get stuff done. So I'm sorry. I need you to walk away from my desk because I gotta really focus. I'm sorry. And then learn to say no. And as we do that, then we bring discipline in the team. Okay? So just remember that. And the other one is delegations. There are some tasks that some people are doing that does not belong to them. At many different levels of the organization. One thing I like to say is put the pain where it belongs to. There are some people that are doing things that are not their job because somebody needs to do it, because if somebody doesn't do it, then it doesn't get done, and somebody is supposed to do it, but they don't do it, so I always have to do it. Well, by doing something that is not part of your job, sometimes people say, well, he's a team player because he does everybody else's job. Yeah, but you're hiding the waste that somebody else is creating for you. You're putting all the stress, you're doing all the work. And the question then, on the other side as the employee is, are you being compensated for it? Or are you just doing it because of your great heart? And I'm not saying that's not good to do. Sometimes it is. But in the long term, this is where the team dynamic starts getting kind of weird, where somebody's always doing everything else. Especially managers are doing something that they're not supposed to do, chasing information, kind of babysitting people, doing things that the people themselves should be responsible, should be doing. Then the manager is creating all this stress, and that always translates into frustration. That always translates into worse things later on. Remember, organization comes from the word organic. We are a living organism. We're a collective living organism, and once something starts not being okay, then it gets worse, then it becomes a disease, then it becomes spread through the whole organization. So we gotta be extremely careful. So there are some things that must be delegated. Can this activity or task be delegated to somebody else? And you need to answer these questions with your time management. Can this activity wait? That helps you with prioritization. So number 3 would be immediate action. Sometimes we just neglect to do things that need to be done right away. Can this activity task be done in less than 5 minutes? If yes, do it immediately. If not, plan it on your time management, your calendar. And we need to understand the procrastination versus patience. Sometimes when we have conversations, personal conversations with our team member, usually the word patience comes, but sometimes we need to really define the patience versus procrastination. Are we waiting? Are we waiting for what? What's the wait here? Is it procrastination or is it patience? So some people say, well, just be patient with me. I'll finish it. Well, which one is it? Are we covering the waste by just using that word patient? Oh, he's not very patient. Well, if a certain task is supposed to be taking 5 minutes, but you're dragging it for half of the day, man, that's not patience. You gotta get stuff done. Just push the button, send the email, answer the question. And sometimes, the waste is because people don't want to give the answer, the true answer. So they're just crossing their fingers that something changes in the environment so they can give the answer they need, or they just don't want to go through the pain of giving the answer, the real answer. And that is waste too. So again, waste is, this gets very dynamic and is so interesting in many different fronts. So procrastination is the most expensive invisible cost in business. Did you know that? Did you know that procrastination is the most expensive invisible cost in business? So when do we need patience? So just bring some clarity. So if anybody doesn't understand what patience is, well, do we need to have patience with people, with projects, with processes, responsibilities, relationships, partnerships, investments? So we need to define each one of those. In a specific task, there's no patience. We gotta get stuff done, period. In other areas, we do have to be patient. As people develop in their soft skills, yes, we got to be patient. People get stressed, they lose, their temper sometimes, and they lose it. Well, we got to be patient. It took many years for a person to get to that degree. Of course, there are some other elements of that, respect. But people get upset, they don't want to talk. People are the way they are, or sometimes you can put that on people's age. Could be wrong to do that because of the HR rules and all that stuff. But sometimes it's realistic. Many people are at different stages in our life. Some moms, single moms, who are taking care of their babies, they're nursing, they're having a bad day at the month, and so it is real. That is real. So in some of those things, we do have to be patient, but we need to define in what cases. And this is the manager's task when it comes to addressing and managing people. Remember, people should manage their own time, but then the managers should keep an eye on people to make sure that they're doing their work according to the standard. Remember, this is not by means of making people work faster or harder. It's by eliminating the waste. Stop doing that. Forget about that. That's not anything that pertains to you, or stop doing that task that you enjoy, but it's not part of your job description. Those are hard conversations sometimes. But I think that if you have a conversation with your team, when you really relate at the personal level, the way we started this training, talk about themselves, their life, what they want to accomplish, and have them understand and convey the message that, listen, we are both people. We're all people here. We all want to get out of work and go to our families and have a decent life, a peace, go fishing. We don't want to be working Saturdays. We don't want to be working Sundays. We don't want to be at home with the stress of, I didn't get the project done, and so didn't finish their part of this project. What am I going to do? My job is at risk. They're going to fire me because, nobody needs that. In order for us to all live in a better place when it comes to, not working under stress and not, blaming each other, we all need to work together, and we all need to have this conversation about time management and wasteful activities that get us to a bad place as a team. So those are difficult conversations, but they must be had and they must be addressed. If you are a manager, you need to talk to your people about these things. So procrastination is the most expensive invisible cost in business. Again, patience is needed in some cases, but in others, they're not. Behavioral psychologist Dan Ariely asserts that we are at our cognitive best in the first 2 hours after waking up in the morning. This is our brain's prime time. So this is an advice that I have for creative people. I started doing this as well. Some of the creative activities, if you are a creative person, you need to take advantage of the very first 2 hours of as you wake up. Those are your prime hours for creative work. I have friends who are designers, graphic designers, web designers, and I have asked them the question, and some of them have put some of this into practice, and they do come back saying, you know what, you were right. I get a lot more done if I just focus the first 2 hours of my day, just nail it, get it home. And then after that, once I know that I got stuff done that was on my MIT's most important tasks, then I just feel a lot better and the day just go very smooth. So consider it, try it. So time is your most valuable and scarce resource. Identify your most important tasks and do them first, the MITs. Work from your calendar, not a to-do list. I'll show you my time management tool here in a second. To overcome procrastination, beat your evil future self. So plan ahead and cheat and see how you would cheat. So prevent yourself from cheating against yourself in the future. Like some people put the alarm clock like 5 steps away so that they don't have to snooze that thing, because they knew that if I snooze the thing, I'm gonna be late for work. So I'm just gonna put that alarm way over there, and I'm not gonna snooze the button. So things like that, we gotta be creative. There will be more to do, you will never be done. That is so true, because time management works both ways. And this is, unfortunately, I teach from experience as well. This is another extreme end where I have been as well, just getting stuff done, getting stuff done. Not rest, no nothing, just going and get stuff done. And, your health, the time with your family, the way that you start training your brain to always be on alert, and that creates stress. And that's unnecessary stress. Always carry a notebook or an iPad or something you can write stuff, because you will forget. Don't trust your brain. I know some people say, well, I don't forget stuff. You have no idea how many times I've gone to the restaurant and the waiter or the waitress said, no, I memorize it. And they miss the order because, they don't have a pen and a paper with them. So control your inbox. There's so many emails, and this is another thing, maybe your IT department can help you. You can block emails from people that are always sending you emails for, sending you sales or sending you offers or stuff like that. That's very annoying. Schedule and attend meetings as a last resort. This is for managers. Again, meetings are some of the most wasteful activities that companies have nowadays. They sometimes, not always, but they bring no value. It's just an activity to make people think that we're getting stuff done. In fact, when somebody gets called to a meeting, pay attention. Are they grabbing a coffee and cookies? That tells you the whole story. They know it's a break. It's an unofficial break. It's not a meeting where things get done. It's just an unofficial break where we're all getting together and somebody says jokes and things don't get anywhere. Be careful. I'm just saying it. Say no to everything that doesn't support your most immediate goals. That's hard, but you must do it. If you are a manager, you must learn to say no. So if it doesn't support the goals that you need to accomplish for the week, for the day, if it doesn't go with it, learn to say no. Follow the powerful Pareto principle. Everybody has heard about the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, right? Well, sometimes if you accomplish 20% of your tasks, you'll be more efficient for the rest of the day. And sometimes, 80% of everything that you have to do is really not value-added work. So focus on your unique strengths and passions. This is a team-based. Sometimes, as I was telling you earlier in the other video, some other people are really good at certain activities and better than others. And there are times where you want to have your team in efficient mode or super efficient mode, where you're only assigning the tasks to the people who are most efficient. But you gotta, again, you can't neglect the other people who don't have the training yet or the skill set. They're not at the same level, because again, you don't want to be putting the same weight on the same person all the time. But sometimes that is the key to save the day, right? You gotta give the task to whoever is more efficient. Batch your work with recurring themes, and this goes against the 8 ways in production, but sometimes batching, sometimes, I'm going to say sometimes and underline it, sometimes it works when it comes to recurring themes. So just like I was telling you, if I had to go to the end of the company, which took me about 5-6 minutes just to walk from the end where I was, my office was, to where the front offices were, took me about 5 minutes to walk. Then I schedule my meetings, at the same time, or right next to each other, so that I can just go one time and then come back here, depending on how my day went. That's just one simple example. I know it's oversimplified, but there are some opportunities where you can, if you go to a specific store to buy supplies for your office, buy the supplies for the week, and so that way you don't know, okay, I gotta go and buy this, oh, I gotta go buy that. So for this, it requires planning. If you get to your team members and one of them tells you, hey, I need this, and then the other person doesn't need anything until you come back from the store and they tell you, oh my gosh, I also need this, and you're the one just driving back and forth, that's what I'm referring. Just take advantage of the planning and say, okay guys, on a weekly basis, I need to put on your time management that, you need to search for your supplies and tell me by Thursday at 3 p.m. whether you're gonna need me to go on Friday to buy supplies. And everybody needs to do that so you can go buy your supplies. That's an example. Focus days, buffer days, and free days. I have my free days on Saturday. Religiously, I rest on Shabbat, on the day of rest on Saturdays. And focus days or refocus days is my Sundays, whatever work I didn't do during the week, they're personal, the family, or professional. I would do it on a Sunday in a more relaxed environment where I'm not like getting stuff done. Once the week starts on a Monday, I need to follow my time management tool and I need to get stuff done. 13, if you can do a task in less than 5 minutes, just do it immediately. That's I think I touched on that earlier. Routinely use your early morning to strengthen your mind, your body, and your spirit. This is general good advice. Some prayer time in the morning is good. Meditation. Number 15, productivity is about energy and focus, not time. Okay, you can be sitting in front of the computer, just looking at the screen, hoping that ideas come and nothing comes. But if you get some good rest, if you learn to rest on the day that you're supposed to rest, and if you manage your time and you're less stressed, then believe me, your brain will work in a better state because that's how our brain works. We need to be in a relaxed environment in order to get to deep thought and deep learning. So again, there are many books I will be submitting for your consideration to read, but just listen to that advice. The disgrace between you and your goals, I'm sorry, not the disgrace, but the distance between you and your goals is not in years, it's in actions taken by you. Sometimes we think of terms of years, in 2-3 years. It's like, no, why you look at it in that way, 2-3 years? What are the things you need to do? Maybe it's in 3 weeks. So stop thinking in terms of years and think of action, what you need to do to get stuff done. You will not change your mind about time management unless you see the value. And this is so deep, I hope you see it, but your time is very valuable. Your life is valuable. What you do with your time is your decision, but it doesn't take any value from it. So the thing that you say yes to are far more powerful and actually build your life. Remember that whatever you say yes to has more power than the things that you say no to. Has to have. So choose the powerful things, the powerful activities that build you up, that get stuff done, that put you ahead of the game, that put you in a mindset that is relaxed, in control, in order. For everything that you are saying yes to, there is something else that you're saying no to. I already mentioned that as well. Do your creative work first. We already touched on that. And here's a perhaps oversimplified list of behaviors of organized people, but pay attention, managers, if you have people and they have these traits, pay attention. They do not trust their brains. They place the information in trusted places, computers, papers. They always know where things are. They label things. They go through mindfulness loop, dependencies, and are proactive by having a plan B, plan C, etc. Others just respond to emergencies. Number 4, they have a backup plan for everything and anything. 5, they are organized in ways that work for them and not for dogma. They have ownership of their areas. They have everything in its place. Not working like this means chaos. Especially if you work in a team environment where you share some office or shop and the people don't put the tools back where they're supposed to go. That creates a lot of waste. Where's the screwdriver? Where's the hot gun? Where is this? Well, that person, always the same person putting things where it doesn't belong. And this is where 5S comes into place, but that's for another training video. They have everything in place. Not working like means chaos, and they are very deliberate about what they buy and keep. That's very, very important, especially for managers. Sometimes, we just buy stuff because somebody says, oh, I think we need this, and you buy it. And then you end up with the shop, you end up with unneeded machines, unneeded, parts that, mean you have put money, in a place where it's not accessible anymore because you used that money and time to get it, to buy it. And maybe that time and money you needed for some other resources. So that's a very sad story. So that's pretty much the end of the training. I hope that you enjoy the training. I know it's basic, but I think it's very clear as well as far as touching base with the team members in your department and let them know that whatever they do contributes or takes away from the team activities. Once you share a project, once all of your team members contribute and are part of the bigger, broader picture, whatever they do right will contribute immediately, and whatever they don't, as far as their time management and the choices they take to do the activities during the time at work, that affects the whole team. And this is a conversation that must be had. Did you find any activities? Do you know of any activities that create waste in your team? Can you name them? Are you brave enough to name those activities? Can you see them? Are you a manager that neglects hard conversations? Are you a manager that kind of waits on you to have those difficult conversations with your team? Well, those conversations must be had if you are a manager. Your team needs you to have those conversations. Believe it, some team members in your department are wishing and praying that you have that conversation with a team member that is creating this so much waste. And for things to change for everybody else, everybody in the team needs to contribute, and their activities need to be, as much as possible, value-added only activities. Anyway, I hope this video helped you, and please, as always, ask that you submit your plus deltas, whatever I did right or wrong, and the suggestions that you might have so that I can make these videos better are very welcome all the time. Again, Miguel Santiago with Kaizen Squad LLC. Here's my email. Shoot me an email if you will want to talk about Kaizen events. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.